The story begins with a terrifying asteroid hurtling toward Earth. In a desperate attempt to stop it, humans launched a barrage of nuclear missiles. While the asteroid was successfully destroyed, its radioactive fragments rained down on Earth, triggering catastrophic changes. The radiation mutated the DNA of cold-blooded creatures like ants, spiders, snakes, and lizards, causing them to grow to massive sizes. Over the course of a year-long war, most of these giant creatures were eventually killed, but not without devastating consequences. Military resources were exhausted, bullets and weapons ran out, and nearly 95% of the human population was wiped out. The few survivors were forced to live underground in bunkers. This is the story of one of those survivors, a boy named Joel. His journey begins at night. He was spending a private moment with his girlfriend, Amy, in his car. Suddenly, fragments of the destroyed asteroid began falling from the sky, heading straight for their city. Moments later, a massive insect attacked their town. Joel and Amy ran back home, only to find that everyone was preparing to evacuate. In the chaos, Joel and Amy were separated. Joel promised her that he would find her again. As he fled with his family, they were attacked by one of the mutated creatures. Joel managed to escape in the car, but his parents were trapped. In their final moments, Joel's mother begged him to run. As Joel moved forward, he watched in horror as a gigantic creature stomped on the car, killing his parents right before his eyes. Shell-shocked, Joel was pulled into a vehicle by nearby survivors. 7 years have passed since that day. Joel now lives in an underground bunker with the people who saved him. Everyone else in the bunker has a partner, except Joel. Traumatized by his past, Joel suffers from anxiety and panic attacks whenever he sees a monster. Because of this, he's never been allowed to go outside. Instead, he cooks, cleans, and quietly lives his life underground. One day, a giant ant breaks into the bunker. The men gear up to fight it, but Joel is told to stay back. A team of 4 heads out to kill the creature, while the rest watch the battle unfold via thermal camera. During the fight, one of the men is caught by the ant. Joel can't bear to sit back and do nothing, so he rushes out to help. He freezes in terror as he sees the ant approaching, one of his friends clutched in its jaws. Just as the ant is about to strike, Joel closes his eyes, and when he opens them, the ant's head is lying at his feet. The others had managed to kill it. Still shaken from the encounter, Joel tries to distract himself by talking to someone over the radio. And to his surprise, he connects with Amy. She's alive and living in another colony far away, on a beach about 140 kilometers to the west. Ever since the attack, they hadn't seen or spoken to each other. Until now, Joel is filled with emotion. He doesn't want to live the rest of his life hiding in a bunker, just waiting to die. When he asks how far Amy's colony is, his friends warn him that it would take at least 7 days to reach it. And even trained survivors can barely last 3 to 4 days above ground. You die in an hour, they tell him. But Joel has made up his mind. He's going to try. Either he reaches Amy or dies trying. Part of him feels like he doesn't belong in the bunker anyway, that he's a burden. But the truth is, his friends deeply care about him. They even draw a map to help him reach Amy. So, after 7 long years, Joel steps out of the bunker. But there's one problem. He has no idea which way west is. Still, he charges forward. Soon, he hears a strange noise and hides in a nearby house. But inside, a huge mutated frog is lurking near the pond. Joel freezes once again. As the frog lashes out with its tongue, someone pushes Joel out of the way. It's a dog. The frog attacks again and grabs Joel's leg with its tongue, but the dog bites down on the frog's tongue, forcing it to let go. Joel and the dog manage to escape. The dog leads Joel to an abandoned bus, which seems to be its home. Its owner likely died long ago. On the wall, Joel sees the word boy written. When he says it aloud, the dog immediately reacts. Joel realizes the dog's name is Boy. As Joel picks up a red dress left behind, Boy snatches it away. It's the last memento of his owner. Joel spends a night in the bus, and the next morning, as he sets out again, Boy follows him, carrying the red dress, ready to journey alongside him. Joel tucked the red dress into his bag and set off again, with Boy, the dog, loyally trotting by his side. As they made their way through the ruined landscapes, they slowly continued their journey toward Amy's colony. Along the way, Joel spotted a plant bearing some strange-looking fruit. Starving, he reached for it, but just as he was about to eat it, Boy tugged hard at his leg, trying to pull him away. Joel understood immediately. Those fruits were probably poisonous. He backed off and moved on. As they traveled, Joel began recording his experiences in a notebook, chronicling his survival. But suddenly, without warning, he fell into a deep pit. As he scrambled to climb out, he realized he wasn't alone. All around him were large bones. He definitely wasn't the first creature to fall in. Out of nowhere, a swarm of fast, blood-sucking bugs attacked him. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, a rope dropped down and someone yanked him out. The man who saved him was named Clyde, and with him was a young girl named Minnow, who, despite her size, was seriously tough. She pulled the pin on a grenade and wiped out all the insects in one blast. Clyde told Joel, "You shouldn't be wandering around alone." Joel explained, "I'm not alone. I've got a dog with me, and I'm trying to get to my girlfriend, Amy. She's in a colony far from here." Clyde nodded. "I'm headed north, toward the mountains. There's a colony up there in the cold. The creatures don't go there because of the freezing temperatures. We're heading in the same direction for a bit. If you want, you can come along." Joel agreed, and they journeyed together for a while until they stopped to rest on a hillside. There, Minnow began teaching Joel how to use a bow, but Joel's aim was terrible. Minnow told him that her father was once the best archer in their colony, but when a swarm of creatures attacked their home, her father was killed, along with Clyde's son. Since then, the two have been traveling together, searching for a safe place to call home. As they sat by the trees, Clyde suddenly noticed something moving to the forest, a creature heading straight for them. He told Joel, "It's picked up your scent. It's going to track you for a long time." They quickly moved on. Clyde and Minnow had been surviving on the surface for quite some time, so they knew a lot about these monsters. Later, they spotted a giant snail nearby. Clyde whispered to Joel, "Don't move." But Joel was already frozen with fear. Clyde calmly told him to take off his t-shirt. He gently placed it on the snail's back, and the creature slowly slid away without harming them. Clyde explained that this was a way to throw off the creature chasing Joel. The snail would carry the scent elsewhere, creating a false trail. Joel asked, "Why didn't that snail attack us?" Clyde answered, "Not all creatures are bad. Some are just peaceful." Minnow added, "If you're ever unsure, just look into their eyes. Eyes never lie." That night, they stopped to rest and ate dinner. But just as they began to relax, Clyde abruptly woke them up. "We have to move," he warned. "The scent of our food will draw the others. It's not safe to stay here." The next day, Minnow resumed Joel's crossbow training. Minnow told Joel, "Calm your mind before you shoot." And every time Joel did, his arrows hit dead center. Minnow was thrilled to see his progress and hugged him tightly. In Joel, she had started to see the big brother she never had. Having lost her family at such a young age, she now found comfort in his presence. Days passed like this. Clyde and Minnow continued teaching Joel how to survive, how to avoid the monsters, how to treat venomous wounds using special plants, and how to read the land. Eventually, they told him about the deadliest creature on Earth, the sand gobbler. These terrifying monsters travel underground, tracking even the slightest sound with deadly precision. But the real danger lies with their queen, massive in size and instantly recognizable by a single fin that sticks out above ground. If she hears you, it's game over. No one who's crossed paths with a sand gobbler queen has lived to tell the tale. Minnow kept training Joel with a crossbow, and day by day, he improved. After 5 days, they finally reached a point where their paths would separate. Clyde turned to Joel and said, "You should come with us. Going alone out there, it's a death sentence. We stand a better chance if we stick together." But Joel was determined. He had to find Amy. Nothing else mattered to him. Minnow was heartbroken, but Joel gently explained, "Amy means the world to me." Minnow gave him one last emotional hug, and Clyde handed Joel a grenade. "Only use this when it's absolutely necessary," he said. "After you pull the pin, count to 5, exactly 5, then throw it." "Got it." They parted ways, and now Joel and Boy had to cover the remaining 50 kilometers on their own. But the road ahead would be far from easy. Not long into their journey, they reached an eerie clearing where Boy suddenly started acting strange. He refused to move forward and hid under a pedal boat, clearly terrified. As Joel tried to coax him out, he felt something shift beneath his feet. Legs, lots of them. A giant centipede emerged from the ground. Joel, panicked, pulled out his crossbow, but the creature was already too close. Just as its tail lunged toward him, Boy barked loudly. The creature whipped its tail, sending Joel flying. It then turned toward Boy, flipping the boat to get to him. Joel's mind flashed back to that horrible day when he saw his parents die, frozen, helpless. But this time he didn't freeze. This time he stood up, shaking with fear. He raised his crossbow and fired. The arrow struck the creature in the neck, enraging it. It forgot about Boy and charged straight at Joel. At the perfect moment, Joel released another arrow. This one hit the creature square in the head, dropping it instantly. Joel stood there trembling. He couldn't believe it. He had actually taken down one of those monsters. Just then, Boy ran up to him, alive and wagging his tail. Joel may not have been able to save his parents, but today he saved Boy. The next morning, they reached a massive ravine. Again, Boy began acting strangely, panicked, skittish. Joel could sense something was wrong. Then he saw it. Just beneath the earth, a creature was moving. A single fin protruded from the ground. The Sand Gobbler Queen. Thinking quickly, Joel tossed a small toy far away to create a distraction. The Queen, sensing the sound, burst through the earth at that spot, giving Joel just enough time to escape. He ran as fast as he could, with the Queen thundering behind him. While running, Joel tripped and fell. His bag flew from his back. Scrambling to his feet, he followed Boy into a hollow tree trunk. Joel gently cupped his hand over Boy's mouth to silence him. As no sound escaped, the Queen lost her trail and began to move away. But then the red dress, Boy's beloved keepsake from his old owner, slipped from Joel's bag and floated into a nearby river. Without hesitation, Boy bolted toward it. "No. Boy, stop." Joel yelled, but the dog didn't listen. He dashed toward the dress, heart over fear. The Queen heard the splash. She turned and charged. To save Boy, Joel ran for his bag and pulled out the grenade Clyde had given him. He yanked the pin and started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, but just before 5, the grenade slipped from his hand. Just as Joel reached for the grenade, the Queen arrived and lunged at him. But in a split-second move, Joel shoved the grenade into her open mouth and dove straight into the river. A moment later, boom, the Sand Gobbler Queen exploded into pieces. Joel surfaced, gasping wild with joy. He had done it, but his joy quickly turned to anger. He was furious with Boy. Climbing out of the water, Joel noticed something horrifying. Leech-like creatures had latched onto his entire body. He panicked, ripping them off one by one. He looked at Boy, frustrated. "We almost died because of that stupid red dress," he shouted. "You risked both our lives for that." Hurt and disappointed, Boy growled softly, turned away, and left Joel behind. Soon, Joel began feeling the effects of the leech venom. His body trembled, his vision blurred, and he stumbled to the forest in a daze, hallucinating. Just before collapsing, he saw a plant. The one Clyde had told him could neutralize venom. In a half-conscious state, he ate it and slowly moved forward before finally collapsing and sitting still to catch his breath. And then he saw her, Amy. After 7 long years, she was right in front of him. Without thinking, Joel kissed her and then immediately passed out again. When he woke up, Joel found himself inside Amy's colony. Seeing her again, alive and real, filled him with happiness and confusion. Amy told him to rest, but Joel smiled and said, "It felt really good to kiss you after all this time." Amy gave him an awkward smile and said, "Yeah, about that, you actually kissed this old guy." Joel turned to see an old man nearby, and his heart sank. Later, Amy explained that a few newcomers had arrived in their colony, including a former ship captain. He was helping people relocate to a secure base, away from the mutant creatures. Joel found it all a bit suspicious, but before he could ask more, Amy left to run an errand. When Joel stepped out of his room, he was stunned by the colony's beauty. Though underground, it was built near the ocean. That location kept them safe. Most creatures hated water. Amy approached and reintroduced him to the captain, explaining, "Joel traveled 140 kilometers through monster territory to get here." The captain was impressed. "I used to be in the army," he said, "and now I help survivors reach a safe zone with my ship. We built a base far away from these beasts, quiet, peaceful." Later, when Joel finally got a moment alone with Amy, he asked, "I came all this way for you. Why don't you seem happy to see me?" Amy sighed. "Joel, a lot has changed. I lost my parents. And last year, I lost someone I loved very deeply." Joel's world shattered. That was the moment he realized. He never even asked if Amy wanted to see him, but Amy took the blame. "I should have told you over the radio. I wasn't completely honest, but I'm still glad you came. We can go with the captain and start a new life. Safe. We'll always be friends." Friends. The guy traveled 140 kilometers, battled giant mutant bugs, risked his life, and she friend-zoned him. What a gut punch. "We'll always be friends," she said. He already had friends back in the bunker. Real ones. Joel couldn't even think straight. A while later, he tried contacting his old colony via radio, but there was no response. Then the old man Amy mentioned earlier came up and handed Joel some fruit and a beer. A gift from the captain, he said, to celebrate a new beginning. Joel took out the map his friends had drawn. On the back were handwritten notes, personal messages. Reading them brought tears to his eyes. That's when it hit him. The people in his bunker truly loved him, and he left them behind for someone he hadn't seen in 7 years. Just then, the radio crackled. His colony was calling. Everyone back home was overjoyed to hear Joel's voice. He told them everything that had happened, his journey, the creatures, the narrow escapes. They were stunned. How did you survive all that alone? Joel asked, how are things back there? Their reply shattered him. Ever since you left, we've been under constant attack. It's no longer safe here. And then the connection cut out. Joel made up his mind. He wasn't going to move on without them. He would return and bring his friends to safety. He wasn't leaving anyone behind. But just then, Joel glanced at the fruits the old man had given him. Something about them felt off. He grabbed his notebook, and his heart sank. They were the exact same fruits Boy had once stopped him from eating. As soon as Joel saw the fruit, he rushed to warn Amy, but it was too late. Everyone in the colony was already under its influence, stumbling around, intoxicated. Joel tried to talk some sense into Amy, but one by one, people began collapsing. Suddenly, Diana struck Joel from behind. When Joel came to, he found himself tied up along with the entire colony. It was all a trap. The captain had done this before. He and his crew traveled from colony to colony, stealing their food and resources. How else do you expect me to fuel a ship? The captain sneered. He revealed their secret. They captured a massive crab-like creature to pull the ship. In exchange, they fed it the very people they looted. The captain pressed a button on his remote, and a dark shadow began to rise from the sea. Everyone panicked, trying to escape. Amy fought with all her strength and managed to free her hands, then quickly untied Joel. You take care of that crab, Amy shouted. I'll handle these guys. With a broken gate panel as her shield, Amy charged at one of the crew members, dodging gunfire. The two clashed and were knocked unconscious in the fight. Meanwhile, the monstrous crab came closer. Joel grabbed a steel rod and ran toward it. As it lunged, Joel struck, flipping it onto its back. The creature struggled to get up, but just as Joel moved in to finish it, the captain activated his remote again, sending a powerful electric shock through the crab. It rose violently and slammed Joel backward. Elsewhere, Amy regained consciousness, only to find herself face to face with Diana. A brutal fight broke out, but Diana quickly overpowered her. As the crab stormed toward Joel, Boy suddenly appeared, standing between the two. The crab paused, recognizing something in Boy. It hesitated. The captain ordered, "Kill that dog." Diana raised a rocket launcher, but before she could fire, Amy, barely conscious, struck her arm. The rocket missed its target, and instead hit the crab directly. The explosion sent the crab into a rage. Furious and in pain, it turned on the captain, who was now down at the dock. Amy tried to stop him, but he knocked her unconscious again. Now bloodied and enraged, the crab charged toward the captain. The captain tried to shock it again, but nothing happened. The remote was useless. Joel told Boy to stay with Amy and protect her. Boy tried to wake her, as Joel took hit after hit from the monster. Finally, Amy came to. She spotted a grenade launcher nearby, grabbed it, and tossed it to Joel. The crab seized Joel by the leg. Just as Joel aimed the weapon, he locked eyes with the creature. Suddenly, Mino's words echoed in his mind. Look into their eyes. They'll tell you if they're really monsters. In the crab's eyes, Joel saw pain, not rage, not evil, just suffering from years of captivity and electric torture. Joel shifted his aim and fired directly at the shackles instead. The chain shattered. The crab was free. It looked at Joel, then slowly backed away. No attack, no violence. Amy rushed to Joel's side. The crab stepped closer, but not to strike. It stood silently, almost as if to say, thank you. Then it turned and lumbered toward the captain's ship. The captain, back aboard, tried one last time to shock it. Nothing. He realized it was over. The crab roared, and one by one, it devoured all three of the captain's crew. Then it tore the entire ship apart, vanishing into the ocean. With the danger gone, Joel prepared to return to his colony. But after witnessing the bravery Joel had shown, the way he saved Amy and her entire colony, Amy had a change of heart. She asked Joel to stay, but Joel gently refused. "My friends need me. I have to go back." Before he left, he handed Amy the book he'd been writing throughout his journey, a survival guide filled with the weaknesses of every creature he'd encountered. "Thank you," he said. "Because of you, I started this journey, and it changed my life." As he turned to go, he took a deep breath and kissed her. Amy smiled. "You traveled 140 kilometers to find me. Next time, I'll be the one to come looking for you." So, what do you think? Does Amy deserve a second chance? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more awesome stories. See you in the next video.